Okay, so today we're making a slab-footed bowl. So it could be any kind of shape you want, and then it's gonna have the feet. These are the feet. You need at least 3 or 4, and I'll have a circle shape if you want to use that as a base. Well, I'm gonna do a flower, but this could be a basketball. This could be very simple. It's just up to you what your shape is. Okay, and then I have this little sheet here that will be on your tables with the instruction on as well. Okay, so first thing you're going to need are two pieces of paper towel, your clay, your rolling pin, and then you're going to need to share this little piece here. If you want a circle, you'll need some sort of straight cutting tool. And then at the end, I've got some cool tools you can use for design elements and, of course, your stamps. Okay, and then I'll have the slip water for every table. Okay, so I'm going to place my clay on the paper towel. I'm going to roll it once this direction, and then I like to flip it and turn it each time so I have a nice surface, and plus it's less likely to tear the paper. Okay, and what I'm shooting for is about finger thickness. So I'm about there right now, so that's pretty good. So once I have my finger thickness, you can take this if you're having a sphere shape, and I don't try to cut it out. I'm just lightly outlining it. If you try to cut it out right now, you're not going to get a really straight edge. So I just use that and then set that aside. Now I'm going to use my straight edge of my tool to cut it. And I'm not worried about having one whole cut piece. I'm just kind of turning it and cutting a few little sections. This is why the paper towel works really great too, because it makes it much easier for you to kind of turn and rotate your project. So I go all the way around, and then got a nice shape. This is where that water is going to come in handy. You dip your finger in. I like to hold it, and notice how my fingers are kind of going around the edge because I want a nice smooth edge. Okay, now that's if you are doing something round. Okay, if you want to change it and make it more of a flower, just like I did before, you can kind of draw out your design. I always draw it lightly because I can erase it with my finger. Then once you like it, you literally just cut. And I cut little triangles out of all my sides, and then I'll eventually smooth that out. And I've got one that's a little farther along. So this one is cut, it's smoothed, okay? So I'll smooth edges. I want to make sure I don't have anything that's going to poke anyone. Then I'm going to turn it over. There's always a good and a bad side. So I'm going to turn it over to the bad side, and this is where I'm going to make the foot of my pot. So I'm going to use that extra clay, and if you want to, you can have like little circles. That's very simple, or you can roll it into coils. And that's awfully big, so I just cut off some. And when I roll coils, if it's kind of getting lopsided, I just kind of tap it lightly. That's a good thickness. Finger thickness is good. I'm going to take this other one here and roll that one out as well. Because I think I'm going to have 3 legs. So I want them to be similar. So this one's a little bit thinner than that one. So let me roll this one out just a little bit more. And then I'm going to even it up. It's like pasta you're cutting. You want similar. I'm going to do a 3-legged one. So I've got a nice start to these. So I'm going to have mine kind of go to a point at the end. So I'm going to kind of roll just that side. I'm not pushing hard. I'm just going to lightly roll it. I'm going to set that aside. Take this one, lightly roll it. Like I said, you could have just little balls of clay and attach it, and that works too. I'm just kind of making mine look viney for my flower. So rolling, focusing it on the right side, and they're very similar. They're never going to be perfect because it's clay. I'm going to move this to the center, and I'm going to attach it. So, you just want kind of like a little X, kind of marks the spot. This is scoring your pot. I have X right there on all of them, scoring it so it locks together nicely. Then I'm going to take a little bit of my slip water, and that's like the glue. And I'm going to set this on here, kind of give it a little press and wiggle. And as long as you are attached on one side, you're gonna be fine. I'm kind of having them kind of almost look like they're spiking out from all the sides, but I'm gonna bend them later. Press that on there, smooth it out. Okay, so those are attached. I am going to, while I have it upside down, take my stamps and stamp my initials in it. Okay, then I can kind of bend them, turn them. Like I said, I'm trying to make mine kind of viney. Okay, and then I always double check, can it stand with a little support because it's still not dry. So that's working. And then I could have some designs here, and I probably could have done it before the foot I added. So since I didn't, I'm gonna just take this and I'm rolling it. And notice my left hand here is in the center. And the reason why it's in the center is just to add some support. Sorry, you can hardly see that. Just some support so it doesn't cave in. Okay, so maybe that's my center. Maybe I'm gonna attach or add little balls of clay right here. I probably should have scored that. It's kind of scored anyways. Kind of wiggle that on there. I'm gonna attach it a little bit better in a little bit. Just a moment. And another one. Okay, and then I always try to make sure I attach it in at least a little area. Then I can take this and make that crease a little bit more. Attach this one, and then attach it over there. So it's not gonna pop off when it's drying, because that's the most disappointing. I'm gonna use a little bit of water. So I've got my little pot. I could leave it flat, but I want it to be kind of curved. So this is where you're gonna wad up, kind of ball up your paper towel, making like a pillow. And then I have this, the good side sitting on the pillow. And then this side, I'm just gonna kind of bend just the flower part. Try to keep the legs up like that. And that's how it's gonna dry. And then next time we will paint.